Hey guys, it's Brandi. That was a super lame intro, wasn't it? Huh. Anyway, happy Wednesday. At least I'm filming this on a Wednesday. I don't know if I'm gonna actually post it today. Oops. Ha. Anyway, so since I obviously don't have that many followers, subscribers yet, I'm just gonna be, winging it for a little bit. Today I wanted to talk about, let me grab it because I feel like that would make it so much better. Ready? Fault in Our Stars! Ah! Okay. First things first, I'm the realist. Fault in Our Stars. I read it probably like midway through my senior year. Anyway, what had happened was my best friend read it. She'd had actually gotten it for Christmas a while back, like before it became popular. And so she got it for Christmas, and she apparently read it in one sitting, which, I mean, I can understand it. So she read it in one sitting, and for the longest time, she was like, you have to read this book, you have to read this book, it's unbelievable, you're gonna love it. And I was like, I'm not really a big reader, meh. But then I saw it in stores, like I was walking through Fred Meyer's, and I saw it, and I was like, Mom, this is the book. This is what Kayla's talking about. Like, I have to read it. It's really important. She's like, you don't really like to read. Like, every time I buy you a book, you never finish it. And I'm like, Mom, I'm gonna finish this one. Pinky swear. Like, I'm gonna read it. Promise. And so she got it for me, and I told my best friend that I got it, and I was like, oh my gosh, Kayla, I got it. I'm gonna read it. It's gonna be so great. And she's like, oh, she was super excited, right? And then I put it off for like a week. So I had it, and it was just sitting there for a week. My mom comes in. She's like, are you gonna read that, or was that just a waste of money? I'm like, Mom, I'm gonna read it. So basically, I started reading it. Could not put the darn book down. Could not. And I was just like flipping through the book. I went to the back. I don't know if you can see that. And I was like, hey, that guy looks really familiar. I was like, where do I know him from? Ta-da! He is one of my favorite YouTubers. He does Vlog Brothers. He does Mental Floss. He does, what's it called? Crash Course with his brother Hank. Shocker. And I was like, I totally know that guy. I love Mental Floss. I watch it all the time. It's my favorite list show. Wow, crazy. And so then that was like, I didn't even know this guy was an author, and he's a YouTuber, and he's so connected to his fans. Like, if you know who John Green is, Vlog Brothers, Mental Floss, you know the Nerd Fighters. So I was literally like, oh my gosh, this is the coolest thing ever. And I freaking finished this book so fast. And I cried at the end of the book. It was sad. So then my friend group, which was approximately 10 of us, my two best friends included, we'd all read the book. Like, we all read it, and we bought tickets for the premiere. We show up, and my friends and I, we took up a whole row in the theater, just all by ourselves, just us. So we were pretty excited, and we all brought tissues and lots of chocolate. Lots of chocolate. Literally, the whole theater is like all girls. There's the occasional guy. You're like, there's probably 5 guys here total. Everything else, girls. All the seats full of girls. And we're watching the movie, and I've never been such a freaking sobby pants. I was crying. I had I made the smart executive decision to not wear makeup because I knew it was going to end badly. So if I had been wearing makeup, I'd have been like all down my face, and I was like crying. Like, it was like the crying where you're like, you don't breathe cry. You're like, but a lot more tears involved than that weirdness gasp that I just did. I had like the tissues on my mouth, and I was like, crying my eyes out. And all my friends were all just doing the same thing, like, and it was like the worst because we knew what was gonna happen because we all read the book. Some of us more than once, and so we all knew exactly what was gonna happen, like right before it happened. So a major scene, we're like, and then it would happen, and we'd be like, just crying. It was actually pathetic, but at the same time, it was so good. And after the movie ended, we all just kind of like stood in a circle like girls do. Just like stood in a circle outside the theater, just crying. Just like group hug crying. That was my most teenage girly moment ever. Not really proud of that. Anyway, so that's Fault in Our Stars. So if you haven't read it, spoilers. I think the part that got me the most was him, Augustus, telling Hazel that, you know, his cancer had come back. And even in the book, when I was reading it, I was bawling. I mean, of course, I cried more during the movie because, like, actually watching it made, like, a big difference. And I think another really smart thing that happened is that John Green worked so close. I mean, he was on set every day, you know, for the making of the movie. So when you have the author there, and the author knows how it goes, the author knows what's important, what's not important. So when you're watching the movie, if it was important, it was there. And I'm not really a big fan of like reading a book and then watching the movie because the movies always suck so bad. But this was so on point. John worked so well with them, and the directors and producers, they took his advice, and they didn't want to like disappoint him because it was such a big thing. I mean, it's #1 bestseller, people. And there is such a big fandom, all the nerd fighters. It's a huge fandom. That was a lot of pressure, all of us. Because we all knew exactly what we wanted in that movie. And boy, they could not mess it up. And they didn't. The movie was perfect. So many good reviews. I did not really hear any negative reviews about it. And if I don't think I did. Which is good, because I probably would have snapped at whoever was like negative. You don't know John Green! You don't know his life. Shh. After that, I decided that I wanted to read other John Green books. So I got Looking for Alaska. And it's a little dusty because I haven't looked at it in a while. Whoops. So, Looking for Alaska. It actually is just having its 10-year anniversary right now. This isn't that copy, though. This is a different copy. But, so I decided to read Looking for Alaska. I highly recommend it. I actually haven't finished it yet. And it's been a few months since I've read it. I'm, like, on page 149. And there is, like, 221 pages. 70 pages left. I don't know why I stopped reading it. Because I know that I thought it was a really good book. I know I really enjoyed it so far. Maybe I just got caught up in life. Or whatever. And then I also have John Green's An Abundance of Catherines. And I'm really excited to read this one. This one is, I heard a lot of mixed things about this book, but I have no doubt because John Green is John Green and John Green is John Green. So I love him, and I bet you it's going to be wonderful. And then, under my abundance of, that's funny, my abundance, my freaking stack of coffee cups. I swear I'm not a slob, guys. John Green, Paper Towns. And I actually read the first chapter. Why did you do that, roommate? I read the first chapter of Paper Towns, and it really got me. Not like got me like, oh my gosh, this is so sad. No, like it like hooked me, which is really hard to do for me because I'm really bad at finishing books, as you saw from Looking for Alaska. That's a problem. I do that a lot. So the fact that I actually finished The Fault in Our Stars, shocking. So yeah, so I started reading Paper Towns. My roommate like washed my coffee mug that she used, and then she like set it down on top of the book so it had like a little ring around it. I'm like, no, you don't do that to books. I'm a stickler. Books should remain perfect. I love them when they're just in perfect condition. No friggin' bends. I'm stupid. Anyway, so John Green. I love John Green. I, of course, follow all of the channels that he's on YouTube, and I watch them every time he posts a new one. Like, I don't really watch Hank as much, which is his brother. I don't really watch Hank that much. I more watch John, because I love John. So this next book, going off on a different angle here, it isn't John Green. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of the app website called Wattpad. My favorite book on this website, basically, I probably should tell you what it is. Wattpad is basically a website where you can post and read stories written by anyone and everyone. You know, you've got kids, teens, actual grown-up adults posting there, and it's their own stories, and believe it or not, a lot of people get published on there. You get reads, you get votes, you have fans, you have followers, and then after that, you can self-publish or go to a publishing company, whatever. So my favorite book on there is called A Prescriptive Relationship by Jordan Lind, and it even says right here, it says a Wattpad story or whatever, made popular by Wattpad, and it even says it on the back, right there, made popular by Wattpad. Anyway, this book is freaking huge. Whoops. So before she got it published, with paper cover, paperback, she had the book on Wattpad, obviously. I must have read this book like three times. And then she has a sequel called A Surreptitious Relationship, and now she's writing the third book right now called An Everlasting Relationship. So I'm really excited that she's writing that. Funny story about a prescriptive and a surreptitious relationship is I accidentally read the second book, A Surreptitious Relationship, before I read Prescriptive, because I didn't know that Surreptitious was a sequel. I thought that was just some random book. I didn't know it was a sequel. So you can imagine, I'm like reading this book, and I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't know that. What? When did it say that? So I read the whole book. Come to find out, it was the second book. So I'm reading through the first book, and like what people would think would be intense, like, oh my gosh, I would have no idea. I knew what was coming because I read the second book. So don't recommend that. I recommend buying her book off of Amazon because she's wonderful. I guess that's enough about books for now. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to try and be putting videos up every Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Yeah, I think that would work best. So I'm going to try and do that, and I hope it goes well, and I hope that you guys liked this video. So, yeah, if you do, make sure you do a thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe, and comment what you think, and if you have any questions, or blah blah blah, or what you want me to talk about, go ahead and comment that, and I will read them. I will read them all. I promise. I pinky swear. Okay. Well, I will see you guys on Friday.